Winning Blueprint presents.
It's the Redskins Report. So it's everything Redskins and anything of the sort. That's right, there's nothing here to hide. Skins colors are so bold, man, I wear 'em with pride. So get this Skins Report. Recap of Sunday's game and anything of the sort. Whether it's losses or wins, it's all skins. Come get it. I'm holding down the fort. You know why? 'Cause it's the Redskins Report. Man, can't nobody tell me that, man. I've been watching Redskins football since I was 3. Where were you at on January 12th, 1991? I know where I was at. I was in my room crying because the Redskins just lost to the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. That's real. I'm serious. That's real. Man, just tune into the show, man. Just tune in. The Redskins Report.
Question of the week. What is it going to take for the Redskins to get off the schneid in this 8-game home losing streak and get a win in Week 6 versus the Minnesota Vikings? That's what we have to ask ourselves, Redskins Nation. We gotta end this losing streak. This is a really, really bad, really, really ugly losing streak. You know, teams lose games during the course of the season. And some teams lose a lot of games over the course of the season. But it's really hard to lose 8 straight games at home. Even a 1-15 team usually doesn't lose 8 straight home games. Now we're talking, of course, in the course of a season. This Redskins losing streak dates back to last year. And so we got to find a way to get it done at home. We have to turn FedEx Field into a home field advantage for us. If you want to be a good team in the National Football League, you got to get it done at home. You have to find a way to win football games at your home stadium. We haven't been able to do that. If we're going to start winning at home, now's as good a time as ever. This is the Redskins Report. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. And that's the million-dollar question for Week 6. What is it going to take to get a Redskins victory at FedEx Field? We know one thing it's going to take. It's going to take the presence of Robert Griffin III on the football field, something that looks like it's going to happen after him taking part in practice all week this week, going through the concussion tests and passing them. It looks like he's going to be able to suit up and play for the Redskins this Sunday, which is good news. Let's hope that he's able to keep himself upright. That offensive line is able to keep him upright. And let's hope that he's able to get through this whole football game with no ill effects from that concussion and is able to move forward and play good football for us the rest of the season without getting himself injured. This Minnesota Vikings team can come after the quarterback. So we have to be able to protect Robert Griffin III, make him comfortable in the pocket, because he didn't have one of his better passing games a week ago. And I don't think it was really from the pressure that the Falcons were applying. Just think he had an off game. It could have been the rain. Could be a number of reasons why he wasn't as accurate as he had been in the first 4 games of the season. But nonetheless, we need him to be accurate in this football game, throwing the football. And it's kind of tough to say what kind of game plan the Redskins are going to come out with in this football game, because if you're the Redskins, if you're a fan, you want to see what we've done the first 4 games of the season and less of what you saw last week. But again, with Robert Griffin III coming off of that concussion a week ago, do you really want him out there running around in the option knowing he's going to take shots? You can't play scared. If he's going to play, then you have to be able to call whatever you have in your playbook. Every single play in your playbook needs to be available to you if he's going to play. If you feel like you need to, inhibit him somewhat, then he needs to sit down. So I guess that kind of answers that question. If you're a Redskins fan, you want to see, spread option, read option. You want to see the pistol formation. You want to see the Redskins using every single element of their playbook, every single element of Robert Griffin III's gifts that he's been blessed with. So you want to see the quarterback draw when we get in the red zone. You want to see him outside the pocket, extending plays. You want to see him scrambling for first downs. I think that's what all Redskins fans want to see, because that's what makes us an effective football team. That's what makes us a good offense. Let's take a look inside the numbers for a bit and see what this matchup looks like. The Redskins right now are rated 7th in offense. Meanwhile, the Vikings are rated 20th on offense. The Redskins are rated 26th on defense. Meanwhile, the Vikings are rated 7th on defense. So there's a give and take there, and there's a stark contrast there. The Redskins are a very good offensive football team. Meanwhile, the Vikings are a very good defensive team, and the Redskins are not. So what it comes down to is what is going to win out on Sunday. The Vikings, while they're ranked 20th in the league in offense, they do a very good job of protecting the football. To this point, they have only turned it over 6 times this season. And so their plus minus on the season is just +1. They don't force a lot of turnovers, but they don't turn it over themselves that often either. So the Redskins, if you're going to get a turnover from these Vikings, the way to do it seems to be forcing a fumble. They fumbled 4 times this season, only thrown 2 interceptions. So they're not a team that's going to turn it over a lot. And if they do, it's probably going to be them putting it on the ground. So we're going to have to find ways to force fumbles, be aggressive when tackling ball carriers, see if we can jar the ball loose. If we get to Christian Ponder, look to strip the ball. We got to find ways to create turnovers, create scoring opportunities for our offense. Meanwhile, the Redskins, who have a porous defense, mainly because of their pass defense, I think the Redskins' run defense has been very solid to this point in the season. I have really no reason to believe that we can't stop and hold down Adrian Peterson, because our run defense, for the most part, except for in that Rams game, has been very solid throughout this season. And I think more so the reason that Rams game, the run defense was so bad, was because they were passing on us. We were on our heels. We didn't know what was coming, and so they were able to gash us in the run game, and we lost Adam Carricker and Brian Orakpo in the same game. We were reeling in that game. We had adjustments to make, and we couldn't make them on the fly at that point. So since we've already dealt with those injuries, I think we've done a great job of stopping the run. Now we have to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback, something that we struggled with a week ago against the Falcons. And we got to get pressure on Christian Ponder. He's been playing solid football this year. He's not going to knock your socks off with his numbers, but he's a solid quarterback. He can move. He can run. Don't sit there and think that this is a guy that's going to be in the pocket. You're going to be able to find him where he is in the pocket. He moves around. He's got legs. He can move. Ask the San Francisco 49ers. Can he run? He can get around. He's not afraid to use his legs and extend the play. So we have to find a way to corral Christian Ponder, make him uncomfortable in the pocket. And he can make all the throws. He has a strong arm, very accurate when he gets in a rhythm. And he can be a very good quarterback. He's a good young quarterback in his league. And so we have to find a way to get to Christian Ponder. But the key in this football game is stop the run. Stop Adrian Peterson. Don't allow them to take any pressure off of Christian Ponder with the help of a run game, with the aid of a run game. Stop Adrian Peterson, Toby Gerhart, and that Vikings running attack. Make Christian Ponder beat you with his right arm. And see if we can force turnovers. Something the Redskins have been very good at this year. The Redskins are 8th, tied for 8th in the National Football League in turnovers. They forced 10 on the season already. Something that we really haven't done, in past seasons. We haven't been a team that's been able to force turnovers. And not only are we forcing turnovers, we're scoring on turnovers as well. We have 2 touchdowns on turnovers this season. And so if you're a Redskins fan, that's something that's very encouraging. We're getting turnovers. We're scoring off of some of them. And we're forcing them. We're a +6 right now in the plus-minus category. That means we're not turning the football over. We only have 4 turnovers on the season. And we're getting turnovers. So that's a positive for the Redskins. So although we're ranked 26th on defense, again, we're a feast or famine defense. Either we're going to feast, we're going to force turnovers, we're going to be making plays on the defensive side of the football, or we're a famine defense. We're going to give up big plays. We're not going to get pressure on the opposing quarterback. He's going to have time to survey the field, go down the field, make plays. You know, we have to find a way to find a balance, a happy medium between the two. Getting pressure, getting to the quarterback, limiting the amount of big plays that the Vikings make, and still finding a way to get turnovers and shortening the field for the offense. I think in this game, the Redskins have to find a way to convert on third downs. We did a terrible job of doing that a week ago, and I think a lot of that had to do with some of the play calling. There were some drops. Let's not forget about the drops last week. We had the dropsies. You can blame it on the rain. Blame it on the rain. Or you could just say that guys had lapses in concentration, which I like to believe is the case. They didn't look the ball in. And Robert Griffin III was inaccurate to a degree. Still, these were catchable footballs. Footballs, I believe, 9 times out of 10, Santana Moss corrals. 8 times out of 10, Fred Davis catches. And Pierre Garçon can have the dropsies at times. I've told you before that in Indianapolis, that was something that he did quite often, drop the football. So don't be surprised when Pierre Garçon does drop the football. He's going to catch more than he drops, but every now and again, he's going to drop one in a critical third down situation, as he did a week ago. So there was many different reasons why the Redskins weren't able to convert on third down last week, but a lot of that had to do with the inaccuracy, the drops, and also the lack of aggressiveness on third downs. I thought that the Redskins were very, very passive on third downs, and just passive in general when running the offense last week. We didn't do a lot of what got us ranked 7th in the league in offense. We're ranked 4th in the league in rushing for a reason. We can run the football. And it's not just Alfred Morris, who has been a stud for us this year. It's been Robert Griffin III as well, taking the ball, tucking it, and running with it himself as well. And so we need to make sure we keep a balance between Robert Griffin III running it, Alfred Morris running it, and then Robert Griffin III slinging it around the field as well. I want to see us take more shots down the field. I think we need to stretch the defense out a little bit. Don't allow teams to crowd the box, because Alfred Morris is becoming a budding star in this league. He's rushing for over 1,000 yards now. It seems to be routinely. The last 2 football games, he's went well over 100 yards. And he's rushing the football very effectively for the Washington Redskins. Again, we're ranked 4th in the league in rushing. And so that means we're getting it done on the ground. And he's a large part of why we're ranked 4th in the league in rushing. Teams are going to start to respect what he can do on the football field, and they're going to try to bring 8 men in the box. We need to make sure that we make them pay if this is happening. We need to take shots down the field. Aldrick Robinson we need to take more shots to Aldrick Robinson down the field. Use his speed. We need to take more shots down the field to Pierre Garçon. I really think that we're not utilizing our speed properly. When we take deep shots, we're going down the field to Leonard Hankerson. Why? He's not our fastest receiver. He doesn't use his height well. He's not a guy that high points the football. Let's stop using Leonard Hankerson on the 9 route, on the deeper routes, and use some of our speedsters to get behind the defense, take the top off the defense, and let Robert Griffin III put some air on the football, put some touch on it, and see if we can make some big plays in the passing game. Doesn't always have to be an 11-play, 82-yard drive that eats up 5 minutes and 17 seconds of the clock. Let's get some quick strikes. Let's go 3 plays, 77 yards in a minute and 47-second drive. We can do it. We have the weapons to do that. We need to take shots when they're there, and we need to hit them. This Vikings team plays very good, stingy defense. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that we won't have a lot of 12-play, 84-yard drives going on in this football game. They're a good defense. It's a reason why they're 4-1. It is because they limit you on the offensive end with their defense. They're ranked 7th in the league on defense for a reason. They play solid defense. You're not going to run the football on them as effectively as you like. They're going to limit you in that aspect, and once they do that, they're going to come after your quarterback. So we have to keep them off balance. We have to find a way to run the football, but also give the threat of the pass as well so they can't key in on one thing and try to take it away. And I think that's what's going to be the key to this football game. Our ability to stay ahead of the chains, convert on third downs, and when we get in the red zone, when we get opportunities to score, take full advantage of it. And what I mean by that is scoring touchdowns. We have a new field goal kicker. Let's not try him out if we don't have to. Let's get touchdowns when they're there to be scored. This Viking team can score points. They scored 30 points last week. They can score points. They put up 23 points against, or 24 points against the San Francisco 49ers. They can score points. So we have to find a way to take care of business against this Minnesota Vikings football team. They can get it done. Percy Harvin is a weapon. Adrian Peterson is a weapon. Those are their best players. Make someone else beat you. If you're the defense, you take Adrian Peterson away. You take Percy Harvin away. You make Jerome Simpson. You make their tight ends. They have some good tight ends. They have some young tight ends. You make their tight ends beat you. You make other guys on that football team beat you. You do not allow their best players to beat you in this football game. Because single-handedly, Percy Harvin and Adrian Peterson can beat you in a football game. They've done it many times before, and they're not afraid to do it again. Percy Harvin can get you in the running game. They use him out of the backfield as a running back. He can get you as a receiver, which he's been prolific at this season. And don't forget, he is a phenomenal special teams player. Already returned a kickoff against the Detroit Lions on the road for a touchdown this season. Opening kickoff for a touchdown. So he can get it done in the special teams game as well. We have to find a way to limit what they do on special teams. They ran back a punt in that same game. Josh Sherrills ran a punt back. And that's what the gist of their scoring in that football game was. They were able to limit the Detroit Lions to next to nothing on the offensive end. And they beat them with 2 special teams touchdowns and a field goal. We have to limit them on special teams. Make them beat us with their offense. Don't turn the football over. Don't give them short fields. Take care of the football. And we've done a pretty good job of that to this point in the season. We've played 5 games. We only have 4 turnovers. So can't really complain about the amount of turnovers the Redskins have had. Don't turn it over. Continue to be very aware of where the defenders are holding on to the football. Continue to be a good caretaker of the football. We've done that to this point. Continue to do it in this football game. Don't give them short fields to which to score with. We need to make them work for everything they get. Last week, we did a great job of making the Falcons work for every single touchdown they got. They scored, but they had to work for it. Anytime you make teams work for their points, you have a better job or a better chance of stopping them from scoring a lot of points, which we did to the Falcons last week. We should have won that football game. If Robert Griffin III doesn't go down with injury, I feel very confident the Redskins are able to pull this football game out. We played good enough on the defensive end to win that football game. We need to continue to make teams put drives together to score. No quick strikes. Don't allow Percy Harvin to catch a slant and run 72 yards for a touchdown. Don't miss tackles. We have to tackle better. This isn't a team that you want to miss tackles on. You miss a tackle on Percy Harvin on an out with our safety play, he could be gone to the house. All of a sudden, that out turns into a punt return or a kickoff return, and he's in space off to the races. Same with Adrian Peterson. We can't afford to miss tackles on players who have the ability to be explosive and take it to the house on any given play. We can't afford to allow guys to get loose into our secondary. This isn't Michael Turner, who isn't going anywhere if he gets loose. We can catch him from behind. This is Adrian Peterson we're talking about. He gets to 5th gear, forget about it. We're not catching him. We don't have anybody on our defense that can catch him from behind. He gets to 5th gear, it's over. Have to tackle. If it's 3rd and 7, they catch a 5-yard pass, we need to stop them short of the sticks. We can't allow them to do what Tony Gonzalez did to us a week ago, catch a 4-yard pass on 3rd and 6 and get 8 yards because he got 4 yards after contact, after the catch. We have to bring guys down where they make the catch. We need to be more sound in our principles in tackling ball carriers. That's key. Get off the field on 3rd downs. The Vikings are a team that converts 3rd downs, extends drives, and scores points. Whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, they are good on 3rd downs. The Falcons a week ago were able to exploit us on 3rd downs. The lack of pressure and our inability to tackle in conjunction with the Falcons being able to stay ahead of the chains, stay ahead of the sticks, being 3rd and manageable for the most part in that football game allowed them to go 9 of 17 on 3rd downs. That's too high of a percentage on 3rd downs if you're the Redskins defense. Got to get off the field on 3rd downs. These are all keys to the game. We have to convert on 3rd downs. We need to get off the field on 3rd downs. See if we can force some turnovers in this football game. We need to take care of the football ourselves. And we need to run our offense. We need to be aggressive on offense. We need to show them a lot of what we've done in the first 4 games and less of what we did in the 5th game against the Falcons. We need to take shots down the field as well. Let's not be afraid to take some shots and make some plays in the passing game. Allow Robert Griffin III to showcase that arm. He's one of the strongest in the league. Let him go down the field. And we need to use our weapons wisely. Stop sending Leonard Hankerson on 50-yard routes down the field. He's not a big play receiver. He's not a guy that's going to high point the football with his size. He's not going to get behind many DBs. He did get behind the DBs against the Rams, but that's not his game. His game is being someone that we can rely on to run the intermediate routes, come down with the football, pluck it out of the air, and make things happen that way. Use our speed. We got guys that are legit 4-3, 4-4 guys. Use them. Aldrick Robinson, Brandon Banks, Pierre Garçon. Let's see these guys run 9 routes. They can run by defenders. They can get steps on defenders. They can make it happen. Let's try and use them down the field. I said all of that to say this. The Redskins need to establish the run in this game with Alfred Morris, with Robert Griffin III. Keep the Vikings off balance. Execute the offense the way we did in the first 4 games when we were scoring plus 20 points in just about every ball game. And find a way to convert on 3rd downs and score touchdowns. We have a new field goal kicker. If we need him, let's see if he can get it done. Let's hope that we don't have to use him, however. Let's hope we get touchdowns. Let's hope we finish drives with touchdowns as we did in the first 4 weeks of the season, and not like we did a week ago where we were forced to kick field goals. We're 0 of 2 in the red zone, including a miss from 31 yards away on a field goal. Let's get points when they're there to be had. So we need to limit the Vikings on offense, stop the running attack, force Christian Ponder to beat us, see if we can force some turnovers, limit them on 3rd down. We don't need them to be efficient as the Falcons were a week ago on 3rd downs. Limit their efficiency on 3rd downs. And don't allow them to have any big plays on special teams or on offense. Make them work for everything they get. This team isn't a team that's going to light the scoreboard up often if you don't allow them to. If you come out and play sound defense against the Vikings, they're not going to score 27 points. They're not going to score 30. We can score 27 points. We can score 30. They can too. But we've done it more times than they have this season. And so we're the team that can put up points. We need to show it. We need to be aggressive. We need to take shots when they're there to be taken. And we need to make some of these plays when they're there to be made. And again, I said all of that to say this. I think the Redskins can get off the schneid here. Not just saying that because I'm a Redskins fan. Because last week, I didn't take the Redskins. I thought we could win that football game. I thought we were going to do exactly what we did, which is have a good showing, have a good performance. But I didn't think we were going to have enough to win that football game. I should have been wrong last week. We should have won that football game. We're going to win this week. I feel good about our chances. This is a Minnesota Vikings team that has already gotten a win at FedEx Field. They're part of this 8-game losing streak at home. So they're not afraid to come into FedEx Field and take another one. They've done it before. They have the confidence that they can do it again. They're riding high right now. They're 4-1 on the season. They haven't lost a game since week 2. So they're on a 3-game winning streak. They're feeling really good about themselves right now. They have the utmost confidence about themselves right now as a football team. It's our job in this game early on to establish the tempo. Set the tempo. Run the football. Make plays on offense. Move the chains. Extend drives. Get this defense tired. Slow down Jared Allen. Run the football. Run at him. Don't allow him to get off the line and try to get up the field and get pressure. And he's not the only one. Brian Roberson gets pressure. Everson Griffin gets pressure. They get pressure on the quarterback. They get it from a number of players. We have to do a good job of protecting Robert Griffin III. Honestly, I've been pleased with the offensive line. There have been breakdowns here and there from time to time, but for the most part, I'm pleased with what we've been able to do in terms of protecting our quarterbacks. I thought the sacks that we gave up last week were more so on the quarterback than they were the line. I thought Kirk Cousins did a poor job of manipulating the pocket last week. He's a rookie. First time being in the game, first NFL action, those kind of things happen. Robert Griffin III is excellent at climbing the pocket, excellent at manipulating the pocket, moves when he needs to, gets out of there when he needs to. And so I have no doubts that we won't be giving up sacks like we did last week. And really, we only gave up 2 or 3 sacks, and most of those, like I said, I feel like were on the part of Kirk Cousins. So we just got to come in, establish that we can run the football, mix it up. Don't be leaning towards one or the other pass or run too heavily. Keep them kind of guessing as to what is coming next. Let's run some bubble screens. We did a great job of doing that against New Orleans, and we went away from that. I think our speed and our ability to get out on the edges and run, getting the ball into playmakers' hands is something that we need to utilize more. We don't run enough screens. Teams want to come after you. They want to blitz. They want to try to come up the field. Hit them with a screen. I think we need to get the ball out of Robert Griffin III's hands quicker. Allow him to make more plays in the passing game. Get the ball to his playmakers. We have playmakers. I love Josh Morgan. I love Pierre Garçon. I love Aldrick Robinson. Let's get them the football more often. Let's see what they can do when they get the ball in their hands. So the Redskins should be able to score points. I think they can score on this Minnesota Vikings defense because they haven't seen an offensive attack like the one they're going to see on Sunday. They've played the Titans. They've played the Colts. They've played the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've played the San Francisco 49ers. They've played teams who run conventional offense. They haven't seen a team like the Redskins. It's one thing to watch film. It's another thing to get on the field and have to actually adjust to what the Redskins are going to be doing. Adjust to the speed that is on the field that the Redskins can produce. We have to make it tough on them. We can't make it easy on them like we did a week ago against the Falcons. We made it easy on the Falcons to stop our offense. Because we didn't do what got us a 2-2 record coming into that game. We didn't do the things that won us 2 ball games and had us in the other 2. We need to do the things that have been successful for us, and that's being aggressive, using all the attributes and characteristics and skills that Robert Griffin III brings to the table, making this offense a dynamic one. If we do that, the Redskins will win this football game 24-20, breaking the 8-game losing streak at home, taking their record to 3-3 on the season, evening us out, giving us a chance to hang around in the NFC East, and dropping the Minnesota Vikings to 4-2 on the season. If we do the things that we can do, that we need to do, we will win this football game. And scoring 24 points is right around the amount of points that we need to score to win this game. I think if we score 20 or 17, we won't win this football game. We need to score 23, 24 points to win this game. Because I think the Vikings are going to score 20. I think the Vikings are going to be able to find a way to score 2 touchdowns. And they have one of the best young field goal kickers in all of football in Blair Walsh. So if they get past midfield, they're in field goal range. He'll kick a 57-yard field goal. He'll kick a 60-yard field goal. Now, of course, a lot of those long field goals have been inside the fine, comfy confines of the dome in Minneapolis. But I have no doubt in my mind that he can kick a 57, 58, 59-yard field goal at FedEx Field. None. He has a strong leg, and he's accurate. And the Vikings know it, and they're not afraid to put him on the field to take a long field goal attempt because he hasn't missed all season long. So we got to do a good job of stopping drives, getting them off the field on third downs because, again, they're going to get points if they get into our territory because they have a weapon at field goal kicker. His name is Blair Walsh. Can't say I didn't warn you. But if the Redskins can score 23, 24 points, that should be enough to win the football game if the defense can do something similar to what they did a week ago. And I feel confident they can. This offense that we're facing isn't an explosive offense in the passing game. They have Kyle Rudolph. They have a very young premier tight end. We struggle with long, rangy, athletic tight ends. We struggle with Tony Gonzalez, who is not as athletic as he once was, but he's a big, rangy tight end. We struggle with Jermaine Gresham, a big, rangy, athletic tight end. We're going to struggle with Kyle Rudolph. All I ask is that London Fletcher do what he's always done, which is remain close to the defender. If he can locate the football, that's probably his biggest issue. He's always there. He's always in the play. You're not going to win the height advantage. London Fletcher is 5'9", 5'10". He's never going to be the guy that's going to be able to cover a tight end size-wise and just make a play. He's going to have to locate the football because these tight ends have an opportunity to leap up and make a play. Kyle Rudolph is 6'5", 6'6". London Fletcher can't jump with him. He can't do anything about the football being high-pointed and placed in an area where Kyle Rudolph can make a play on it. So they're going to have to do a good job of limiting him in wherever he gets. If he catches a 4-yard pass, he's a big receiver. He's athletic. He's physical. Tackle him. Go after his legs. We have to do a better job of tackling guys. But if we do the things we need to do, I think the Redskins can come out of this game with a victory, 24-20, taking their record to 3-3 on the season, dropping the Minnesota Vikings to 4-2. And that's the Redskins report. Feel confident about this game. I feel confident about the prospects of the Redskins ending this home losing streak. We got to win a game at home. We got to win a game at FedEx Field. This is nonsense. Good teams, which is what we're striving to be. We're not there yet, but good teams don't lose repeatedly at home. This is one of the steps that we need to take to become a good football team. Winning at home. We're already 0-2 on the season. This is our first time playing back-to-back games at home this season. We need to take advantage of the fact that we didn't have to go anywhere. We didn't have to travel. We've been home for 2 consecutive weeks. Now let's put forth the effort on the field to get a W in front of the home fans at home at FedEx Field and get it done. End this losing streak at home. This is ridiculous. Good teams don't drop 8 straight at home. Doesn't happen. You want to become a good team? Win at home. And that's going to do it for me. I'm Lou. I'm your host. And I'm a Redskin fan etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskin spirit will never die. My Redskin spirit will never fold. Whether we lose or whether we win, I'm going to ride with the Redskins until the end. And so until we meet again on Tuesday, when I wrap this thing up, hopefully talking about a Redskins victory, hopefully donning the burgundy and gold and not the black that is a somber color of a loss. Until next time, hail to the Redskins. Have a good one. Let's get a W.
The Redskins Report.